Hi folks, my name is Dr. Dain here. Welcome to the explanation of the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. Here's my friend Simone.
Hi, I'm Simone Milasas. Welcome. I am so happy that you are here and to find out more about the clearing statement with Access Consciousness. Dain, over to you.
Hi, did you miss me? So, I'm gonna say it right now, and if your eyes cross, you're in the right place. It's right and wrong, good and bad, Pock and Pod, all 100, shorts, boys, Povads, creations, bases, and beyonds. Whew. I'm very proud of myself, I did it. If you saw any of our previous clearing statement videos or you've ever done Access Consciousness, that sounds a lot longer than it used to. That is correct. This thing has gone through 3 iterations of change literally in the last 2 weeks. I have no idea if you're watching this whenever you're watching this, we may have changed it by the time you see it again, but the whole idea of changing this is to keep current so we can change as much as possible every time we run it. Simone, is that you?
Hi, it's me again. So first of all, you've got right and wrong, good and bad. One of the things that Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, said many, many years ago, most people would rather be right than be free. So look at this in your life. Where in your life are you trying to get it right rather than actually receive something else? Because if you're functioning from you're either right or you're wrong or something is good or bad, you're literally like focusing in on a certain energy and that's it, like what's in front of you or what's over there, because you've decided what you don't have is the gold, you know? What if you just let down all of those barriers and you had no limitations, no barriers, and you started to receive from everything and everyone? That's the different concept that you will have when you start using this Access Consciousness Clearing Statement.
So, right and wrong, good and bad. Pock and Pod, Pock stands for going back to the point of creation of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions immediately preceding any decision you've made that limits you. So if you think about it for a moment, think about something that you chose in your life that you wish you hadn't, something that's currently limiting you. And think of all of the points of view that led to that moment of choice. And what we're doing is we're asking your awareness to go back and change it, the consciousness of you to go back and change that unconscious choice so that it can now show up differently. And if you're one of these really logical people, study quantum physics and you will start to get a sense of how this works. So that's Pock, the point of creation of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions, immediately preceding your decision for a limited point of view or anything you'd like to change. And then there's the Pod, which is the point of destruction, which is pointing to something and acknowledging something and allowing us to access something that we call the destruct universe. What is a destruct universe, you say? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Thank you for asking. That is where we've hidden everything that we've decided is destructive about us. Now, here's the weird part, and here's one of the reasons the clearing statement can be so powerful in our lives is what we tend to judge is those things that we have that are easier than other people. Things where we have too much joy, or we did this easily, but they can't. And what we do is we inherently put this over here so it can't be found. No, I didn't have this too easy. No, I didn't not study and get an A on the test. No, not me. I'm just like you. So what we are able to access with the Pock and the Pod is both the creative side of any limitation where we chose to create a limitation, but also the destructive side where we're hiding what is actually a capacity and instead destroying that very capacity. So this is part of what we're accessing with the Pock and the Pod.
Right and wrong, good and bad, Pock and Pod, all 100. Oh my goodness, all 100. Wow. This is something we just added to the clearing statement, literally, I think in the last couple of days. I just love the way Access works, I really do. For me, I've been involved in Access for 24 years and it changes all the time. If it didn't change, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be here. I would be bored. You know what? We change. The world changes. Our points of view change. And that's what this is about, so that you can have more freedom with everything that you choose. So The all 100 is basically about all of those stories that you have, that you use to create your limited life, not this life and this living that is just full and has so much available for you. So there's sort of like a flip side of it. You've got like this, 1 to 50 is one side of the coin, and then the rest is the other side of the coin. And so the all 100 is all these different stories that you have to determine your life. But I'm going to ask, start looking at how you think about things. What are you thinking about? What are you judging? What story are you currently telling yourself that is limiting you? You can even just for now be like, all 100, all 100, all 100. Pock and Pod, everything that is. New part of the clearing statement, and I love it.
So we have right and wrong, good and bad. Pock and Pod, all 100. Shorts stands for the short form for what's meaningful about this, what's meaningless about this, what's the punishment for this, and what's the reward for this. So if we look at what's meaningful about it, we know what that is. When you make something significant, and you're like, it's so painful, I don't know what to do. Well, that's meaningful. That sticks us in itself. But something most of us don't realize is if you don't have this clearing statement, and you don't have the concept that you can let go of certain things, then the only choice seems to be to make something meaningless. Meaning, see what I did there? That wasn't as funny as I thought, was it? Oh, well, not for the first time. No brain. Okay. So the only choice we believe we have is to make something meaningless. In other words, it has a lot of meaning to us, but we have to try to pretend it doesn't. And anytime we're trying to pretend something that's not true for us, we really get stuck by it because it always points our attention there because there's a lie. So let's go on to the next one, the boys. Boys is short for nucleated spheres. Yeah, why? I know exactly. Well, if you were here for the inception of this, what happened was they found this energetic structure that had the sense of being like the layers of the onion. How many times have you gone to clear an issue and you do all this work and you clear and you clear and you clear, and finally at one point you can feel it change and you're like, yay, I'm free. And then within minutes to days, it feels like it is there again. Well, what we found is this is a structure called nucleated spheres. And the short form for it is boys, because they first found one and then they found another and then they found there were all kinds of them, and they used to call it Boys in the Hood because that movie was very popular when this came out, if that tells you how long ago this came out. So how many onions have you been peeling over the course of your life or your journey of self-development, if you've had one? If not, and this is your first exploration, good for you. You are starting with the good stuff. Might as well start with the atom bomb instead of the pea shooter. So how many onions have you been peeling that you just get there and then it regrows? That may be this energetic structure called nucleated spheres, all of those that are keeping you stuck in the same patterns over and over and over. We destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, Pock and Pod, all 100, shorts, boys, Povads, creations, bases, and beyonds. Whew.
Okay, so Povads. Ooh, this is great. And I've spent a lot of time using this tool as well, because it's everything about what you are avoiding and what you are defending, okay? And I have used these questions over and over again, because a lot of times when you get that energy, and even in your body or when you're talking to someone and you're like, and you get that little like feisty, that little funky energy, ask yourself, it's like, what are you avoiding and what are you defending? And even what are you proving is another question that I would ask all the time as well. So it's all of those places. I mean, if you use money as an example again, what are you avoiding with not choosing money? What are you avoiding with money? What are you defending with not choosing money? What are you defending with money? Like, play with these tools. These tools are designed to set you free. You've been trapping yourself your entire life, but these are designed to set you free.
So, creations is the next element of the clearing statement. Pock and Pod. All right. What are creations? Well, You know how when I was talking about pod, the point of destruction? Well, in that discussion, we talked about there being this thing we call the destruct universe, which is where we're hiding. What we're really hiding there is everything that is truly creative about us. Everything that is truly joyful, ease-filled, everywhere we can be a miracle. We have somehow got that turned around and we think it's destructive to others and potentially destructive to ourselves because it's where the gift of our chaos lives. And we've been taught that chaos is havoc. Chaos is not havoc. Chaos is creative. So the creations in the clearing statement is about accessing the realms of creation of which we are capable. Right and wrong, good and bad, Pock and Pod, all 100, shorts, boys, Povads, creations, bases, and beyonds.
So basis. Basis is, well, how many times do you choose based on something? And you'll hear yourself saying that now and also thinking about it. Do you choose based on your partner, based on your kids, based on your family, based on your friends, based on your colleagues? You know, get my drift? It can go on and on and on. What if you stopped choosing based on something or someone else and you started choosing for you? Choice is your reality. What if you have infinite choice? Every single one of us is different. And if you start choosing from that difference of who you be, what can show up? Would something greater show up? Don't trust me? Trust you. Ask yourself that question. If you start using this clearing statement and start choosing for you, would something different show up? Would something greater show up? Beyonds! Over to you, Dain.
So the last element of the clearing statement, beyonds. Those are the things that are like exterification. It's beyond thought, it's beyond feeling, it's beyond emotion. It's sensations that just kind of stop you in your tracks. And the full statement of it is all the beyonds, create in the beyonds, eternally beyond, which even when I say it, you kind of go, yeah, anything that makes you do that, what it does, it keeps you from being present with the thing that's in front of you that you're either looking to choose and create or looking to change and undo. Either way, undoing the beyonds can be so helpful because so many things in our lives put us into a beyond. So if you look at it, between the right and wrong, good and bad, the positive and negative judgments, the Pock and Pod, the ability to go back to the point of creation where we create a limitation, the ability to undo where we took something that's great and hide it in this destruct universe. All 100, all these 100 stories, the shorts, the boys, the beyonds, the creations, the bases, all of these elements create this thing that when you want to choose something different, it becomes the beginning of having the space to do so. This allows you to get to the space of you again really quickly. So I warmly invite you and welcome you to please use this. Please not only use it, but share it with your friends. If you would let them know you got it from Access Consciousness, that would be cool. But we would like as many people on the planet to be able to use this as possible and open up that sweet, beautiful space of choice that we should all have available. Thank you very much for watching. Have fun using it. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody, for being here, and thank you for listening to myself and Dain, and thank you for using the Access Consciousness tools. You know, together we can generate something huge, massive here. What if the purpose of life was to have way too much fun? Bye, ciao, adios, auf Wiedersehen, servus, tschüss, all of that and more. Mwah. We're doing the whole clearing statement, right? Dain and I are good monkeys. And that's a wrap. Fade to black.